These houses have a lot of dark, shadowy areas behind them. As I come up as a youth, the can
We are back for another adventure. So at the moment I'm just heading down to Cassan Hill. Cassan Hill is not too far from Sand Hill. It's on the way to Annisville, so if you're headed here, you will see it when you're going to Annisville, which is known as the Joshua Centre. So on the way there, and we're going to be showing you what we're going to get to eventually. So once we get there, you're going to get a whole heap of history and you're going to see what we're going to show you. So myself, I'm with Philbert today, so keep watching and we will show you on the progress what we're going to talk about today. So keep it tuned and keep it moving, and look forward to the content we're going to show you.
Welcome to the house on Cassan Hill. You saw us on the walk, us introduced and said we're going to take you somewhere. This is where we're taking you today, right here, the house on Cassan Hill. There's many stories about this place. So, you see Philbert's on the camera. He's going to take us through a journey, explain about this house right here. So, Philbert?
Isis. Glory to the word, man, and glory to the song. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be humbly acceptable in the sight of the Most High. I listen last year the first. You know, see? And I strengthen and I redeem the eye who long live and reigneth forever. Cause the eye whole eye vine countenance to shine upon I and I. Be yes full and sanctiful to I and I, for I and I. Yeah, my brethren, and greetings to I and I idols. I and I this day now, we feature this area here in Cassan is to highlight the disposition of these places. And these places are some of the highest esteemed positions on the land. These places are some of the best lookout areas. These areas are some of the forested, where some of the rarest trees are. But unfortunately for St. Vincent, this is one the place where Cassan house was. This house, we feature these houses is to show the willful waste of capital. And England say, well, it emancipates you. You know what I'm saying? If you emancipate the people, you're supposed to always give forward the people what you owe for them. This is something that should be known. And I don't think, well, these places that you have where was all plantation houses. This plantation house was the chief house of the Queen and Shimagats, you know what I mean? You see it? This house was the chief of the plantation house around the district of East St. George and West St. George and from Calicut and on. So when the Queen and all these different people come to St. Vincent, this was their house. As a youth, you're growing up, you would hear, well, when you hear about this house here, you would hear that this house has some of the most windows in the world. This is a house with 99 windows in it. For some reason, this is some law at the time forbid them for putting 100, and you couldn't put 100. But for whatever reason, it was one of the most highly decorated boyshans. Because they call them mansions, you know, but it's not man living them. I could see a mansion with a man in it. But if it's boys in a mansion, I could say boyshan. So these little areas here now, as boyshans, you know, seeing, remain totally obscured and covered up. Dark and dismal feet and stories of all set of zouk that play on people and play on the psyche of people. So these areas, nobody never really would worry with them. Nobody ever would want them. And we have to question ourselves. Because many places in the Caribbean, you know, throughout the Caribbean, you know, have these same areas where the plantation owners and them reside. These areas at the time and the century that they were originated, these houses, is some of the best African masonry you had doing these houses. And they were the taught masonries from even from other areas where slaves is and is unknown. They were the taught masonry from all of England to these areas, to these works. You know. These works is done by some of the highest craftsmen. One of the ironies of the builders is never given the due respect for building the building, because somebody else, when them done build the building, always own the building, and the building always named after the owner and not the builder. That's a sad defect. That's a defect of art and histology and architecture that the world need to look at carefully, you know. The builders supposed to. Yes, I. So and I continue from the areas where I had so. What we're trying to highlight is that these areas should be always a place handed forward to the people. You know, these is prime areas that can be for a school, for a college, for a whatever kind of shop a community need. Why are these prime areas just left abandoned, dark, in obscurity, with an awesome fear behind it, so nobody will want to? I'm asking I and myself, well, is this willful to deter people? Or is this really meaningful something? Because sometimes what these houses went through, these houses are the big aristocrats and barons from England where they come and stay in that thing. And they would watch over the savannah and had a racehorse racing down there. You understand? And they up in here betting and all that. So you had enough window for all the man go behind with a watch glass and look through and see who win, and that was their time. Now these houses have a lot of dark, shadowy areas behind them. As I come up as a youth, the corner where this house used to be there is called Cassan Hill. There used to be a corner, you know, people afraid. People ain't joking when they come to them and just running around that dash. Is it? Because there's all kind of little stories saying, well, when you get by this corner, your head swell. When you get by this corner, coffin and casket and all different things was always floating in the road, floating aside. You know, see. So it had created a certain timidity, a certain phobia in people when they pass them areas. The nerves just get tingly. You see it? Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of things will go on around them houses here. And it's just to show you the unjust things that does go on around these houses that they remain abandoned. Haile Selassie had a house in England. And when Haile Selassie leave England, him give that to the elder people who so unfortunate and have no place. So it's an elder house. It is brought to usefulness. It ain't just there. I talking about the principle of philanthropy. That's why I talking about the principle of philanthropy. These supposed to be with kings and with this and with that. You see, and your lords and whatever. And this is the level of philanthropy that they say they no longer control the people, but the boundaries and where they have remain obscure to anybody. You see, it's another place where people who live in the area here, so people who was living there, you know, because the wooden part might have deteriorated, so the concrete part, people just rent there. People renting there and run all the time. One person song was, you know, they literally see people moving around in the house with aprons on. You understand? While them did it, them seeing people moving around with aprons on. You see it? Mm-hmm. People is said screaming because that place behind it where you could have come in from behind the house, from off the road there. And you pass the people, what they say, screaming and shouting, screaming and would have gone. So I don't know all behind if it's where they hanging people. You see? But them place they stay permanently scream like. Not only it will create this kind of awesome shadow over it that the corner there, so Cassan corner as what it was called at the time. That corner, numerous of things that happened there. You know. Things used to just crash by that corner. One time a stone roller roll over right around that corner there. You know. They're fixing the road around the corner there, trying to resurface it. Stone roller roll over with the man, you know, and crush the man, you know, right in that corner there. So you know, it is always harried and horrifying when it comes to that bend there. So, which biking crash there. Which this thing smash there, which car ain't just bust through the line and fly over, landing on the people's yard and all things, numerous badges. So what I say, 1 point just can't totally just possess unfortunate gravity. You know, I call it a very unfortunate gravity. Because it goes to say, you know, what you do today or tomorrow, and you think it will be forgotten and gone. It stayed there. It stayed there crying out and shouting, and this is goes to say that man had to be mindful, because man only seem to want to make some of the best areas in the earth forbidden, you know, for the purpose of their own ego. There are hundreds of properties where you just leave these places and nobody don't break them down, nobody don't nothing. Then, and it's big space, prime space, bro. Wonderful view. So cool. Some of the most richest plants around these areas, plants we ain't gonna find nowhere else. Because these people had a botany. They had a botanical structure around them that would be the pharmaceutical at the time. It have its own spring coming in from higher up. It have a spring up there, coming in, bringing water. So all this house they used to get spring water. You know, today now, when the Rasta man go into the spring, you're going to tell him, well, yeah, it's this and that water and that water. But that is the water all the aristocrats and them used to drink long time. You know, premium. It was the premium, just filtered, and it was the premium. So now all them spring, they just left. Just gone there, just flowing for the valley. You see? And, you know, that is a reservoir right there for around here. You know, that's a whole reservoir. Water is such a valuable thing. Look how much the price of water. And we have water in that valley there, just running. Just running to the sea. Them water there, you know, if private people could channel them water reservoir, them people and structure them water with communities, have better usage of water. Water is a valuable thing for our future. Future can't go on without water. Is one of the major assets you have to look upon. And them areas here, you know, them don't set up them areas here, you know, unless them have some tidy waterfall somewhere where they done analyze and send it this and that, and then reservoir. But when they done the area, they just scrap it and just left it to be dismantled. I say all that is, you know, you should be giving us reparation. All these things should be reparation for the people that you took them from, because these works are ancient culture of our masons and our builders and our carpenters and our sculptors and painters, you know? And it could highlight our heritage, you know? I'm asking, well, how come some countries just go all the way out to rob other people's heritage, to amuse themselves in a museum? You're amusing yourself with other people's stuff and dying stealing, dying robbing, dying not. That is just me making money off of other people's culture. But yet still, when it comes to giving these people forward, you know, things that could help them develop community-wise, structural-wise, as time thing. No, they have them, they like horror house. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Horror house. You see, so people now could only have a phobia. No, we don't want that. So I'm asking myself, could these things be willfully haunted? Or just the battering down conviction that went on around them is so biologically fingerprinted that is not easily erased. You see? But I guarantee you know, the goodness of love and the kindness of care and righteousness could eliminate anything. So if they give forward them thing to goodness, you know, them horror story also wouldn't even be anything that we must remember. But these things is part of the great heritage that surround us, that we go ahead moving in our lives and totally left lost to find. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It had one time, you know, people would hear chain pulling, you know, around the house, you know, chain, pulling around the house. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. You used to hear that. You see? So another time, people gonna hear swords clanging. So I could see the memory, the biological fingerprint of the irony of these places. Where they think is forgotten, it stayed there, staying for generation and generation. And it's only the generation with goodness, you know, and pureness within themselves, you know, can remove these bitter cores from over the lands. You know, saying that they cover some of the prime and best place. You know, seeing in our vacancy in the little space we have. You know, seeing?
Mm-hmm.
And this is something I just asking, I publish, and I just because I know these places are other places in the Caribbean. The Caribbean is probably marbled, like if you're playing a marble game around these places. But some have indulged in making better position of themselves. In St. Vincent, they're like horror houses, brethren. People afraid them. And that's the real truth. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have a blend here of what is, you know, belief and what is reality. You know? And at always reality can overcome belief. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we should place reality sometime we believe. We're not just believing. We are just highlighting some of the historical zones and areas that is marbled our place that just lay forgotten. Yeah, as if, you know, and its prime source of agriculture, its prime source of botany, its prime source of water, its prime source of material. Some of them trees, you know, mahogany trees. Yeah? Expensive wood surround some of these trees here. Mahogany trees, red cedar. You know, not a joke, you know. Remember, it's botanical people plant these plants. Yeah. So the question is, you give us reparation. You say you're giving us reparation. It should start by giving you forward all these little zones and all these little edges that the colonial master have just kept abandoned, never sell, but they never own, the government never owned, but just did it primitively, you know, with history just winding up and getting lost. And I seek to unearth the time to unearth our heritage. And our heritage meaning all of it, not some of it, and the rest fog out. That make no good sense to I. You know, so my beloved brethren, this is the reason why we highlight the people of Urumi and the heritage of the people of Urumi. And sometimes the heritage of the people is kept underneath the feet of the slave. You know what kind of archaeology underneath them buildings there, you know? We don't know. So I'm saying that the heritage of a people is always under the slave master feet. So sometimes when you look in for your heritage, look where he walk, man, and watch it careful. Give thanks, man, for facing in your outdoors. in a beautiful summertime. We in the garden, Cassan garden. In them days, there's big dog running through here. Oh, you can't come by the gate there, so. Because when them dogs they run down there and hit the gate clang, you as a youth, you ain't going nowhere close. You're cutting over the hill, wham! Down the hill as a youth going to school. You know, want pass here, so. So we used to go over the hill, zap, run, go over there, because, you know, all them areas here was suspicious ground. So we want to break down the suspicion and let I arise and all his enemies be scattered. Let them that hate him flee before him as the wax melted in the presence of the fire. That is I heart Isaiah. So I make a joyful noise unto his majesty all the lands, and I come before him, come before his presence with speaking truth and heritage, so that him could abolish it and anoint it for the sake of right truth.
Yeah.
Give thanks, give Satamas God, who is rightful.
Yeah, yes. So, as we can see in the background, that's the house we've been speaking about. So,
House is there.
Right there, yeah. So, we can. I'm going to take you a bit closer so you can just see it a bit more. So, let's go and have a quick look. So, this is the house. To give you more indication of how it looks. There's a great breeze, there's a lovely breeze in the area, so when you're here you can feel a really nice breeze in the background. There's a lot of nice land here. A lot of windows, like Philbert said, 99 windows, you know, it's a massive house. So yeah, we hope you've enjoyed this one today. So we're going to head back to Cassan Hill, and we hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and also don't forget to go and watch the previous videos. So to the next one. Philbert, any last words for the people out there?
Yes, I am. I would say Satamasagan, give thanks in the name of the King and the Queen of creation. Glorious things are spoken of him in the city of the great King, which is whole among Zion. And Zion is where we stand for truth, you know? We must stand for truth at all times. Give thanks, my brother and sister.
Give thanks. So,
yes, sir.
So make sure, you, like I said, you go back and watch those previous videos. So take care of yourself. Bless. We're out.